Another field sign, this one about corn. Corn is a common row crop in Sauk County. In 2010, Sauk County farmers planted 85,000 acres, producing almost 11 million bushels of corn. Originally grown primarily as animal feed, corn is now also used for the production of ethanol and corn sweeteners found in many food products. Farmers harvest the corn kernels, but may also harvest the whole plant and store the chopped corn silage for animal feed. Row crops like corn can result in soil erosion because the ground is exposed between plants. Conservation practices like strip and contour planting, as well as no-till when corn seeds are planted by drilling directly into the ground, have reduced soil erosion and improved water quality in the area. And we are now in Irish Valley. Still in Irish Valley, this is the Traxler farm. Grew up with those kids. And this note is about water. Wisconsin farms depend on an ample, clean water supply. However, current agricultural practices also contribute to the pollution in this critical asset. Runoff from Midwestern agricultural fields within the vast Mississippi River Basin increases the dead zone downstream in the Gulf of Mexico. Wisconsin farmers have come to realize that our gains can come at a cost to the livelihoods in the delta, such as fishing. They have increasingly adopted farming practices that decrease water pollution. A growing number of farm-led watershed groups empower Wisconsin's agricultural producers to control barnyard runoff, reduce pollution, and protect groundwater. And again, we're here in Irish Valley. Shot my first buck just over that hill on the horizon. And this little farmstead, if you will, behind these trees was once a cheese factory where we'd come over and get really good Munster cheese. It's not part of the tour, but I've always loved this tree. Just one of the biggest, oldest, most lovely, well-maintained oak trees that I've ever seen. Another piece of art on display. This woven piece. Pretty close to my friend Chet's farm. To live in this country is to be marked by its still unfolding history. I must try to trace what marked me, the way it traverses many forms of memory and silence, of a people as well as a single person. The land belongs to the future, Carl. That's the way it seems to me. I hope I read that correctly. Carl. Okay, and now we come into Leland, the fourth major town in the area, center of the universe. Here we have the Rod and Gun Club. In the clubhouse with a display. We'll probably come back and take a look at that. The shelter bar. It's Wreckers. The old feed mill. And the town itself. Get a sense out here. The pond is no longer a pond. It's been drained, but they're trying to raise money to get that get the dam fixed. Oh, and we'll take a lap here around the church. This is St. John Lutheran Church. I was baptized, confirmed. Most of my family is planted in here. Grandparents, father. A little heart-shaped stone is mom's. She'll be buried next to her mother someday. Right here at the base of the at the Baraboo Bluffs. Here's the parsonage. Yeah, that's Leland. Here we are in the Leland Park with displays of overalls. Getting a good wash today in the rain. And here's a display of aprons. I'll bet you that they were not on the ground this morning, but the weight of the rain has made them sag. What a shame that they're now down in the grass. Lots of embroidery, all of them quite colorful and lovely. Mrs. Langdon trying to help them out. And back to overalls. Here we are at Natural Bridge State Park. You can see the color beginning to emerge, both in the fields and in the woods. And another roadside message on ethics. In 1935, conservationist Aldo Leopold purchased 80 acres of farmland, first worn out and then abandoned by our bigger and better society, along the Wisconsin River in northeastern Sauk County. As he and his family worked to restore the property, Leopold explored the idea that our relationship to land was not only economic but ethical. He wrote, "All ethics so far evolved rest upon a single premise, that the individual is a member of a community of interdependent parts. The land ethic simply enlarges the boundaries of the community to include soils, waters, plants, and animals, or collectively the land." Leopold's words continue to inspire conservation efforts here in Sauk County and in communities and landscapes around the world. Natural Bridge State Park used to be the old Roditz farm, which was owned by my great-grandmother's sister and her husband, and now it's a state park. Sumac is getting lovely. Not part of the art tour, but artistic nonetheless, is my cousin Tony's fleet of farmalls and one Minneapolis mullein thrown in for good measure. This, I think, might be Tony's full collection, although there might be a couple of other tractors in the shed or scattered around. Actually, I don't see his pulling tractors here, but Tony has made it his work to buy old tractors and restore them and get them in good running condition. He has a nice collection. So this is Our Lady of Loretta Church Museum, a church here between Leland and Denzer. Now preserved by the Sauk County Area Historical Society. And I see we have a greeter. Thank you.
You didn't pick the nicest day to visit, but
Oh, well.
it's all right. The rain seems to have stopped.
Yeah. Well, it's been a few years since I've been here. Still wonderful.
I'd like you to sign the book before you leave.
We sure?
Keep track of who
You bet, we sure will.
coming. Yesterday they were just packed. So it was a lot nicer day.
That's what I hear, yeah.
That's big.
Isn't this wonderful? This church is locked up most days, one day a week, or one day a month rather, it's open for visitors. Just beautiful. Now this is just too cool. It's an old International pickup filled with old tractor and bicycle and household parts in my cousin Dale's alfalfa field. Just great. This valley leads up to Tony's place, the place where we just saw the tractors. So this is all, a lot of this is my cousin Dale's property. Off in the distance, my cousin Donnie passed away a few years ago, but his wife Helen and their family own pretty much everything up to that hill. But this is a great piece of art. This is called Fall Mix 20 on my friend Kevin Engie's farm, just about a mile or so outside of Witwen on Highway O. By the way, in grade school, Kevin went to Blackhawk, and he was over 6 feet tall in 5th and 6th grade, and he was considered the man to beat whenever we played them, and I think he always won. Great guy, though. Out on Highway O, just west of Sauk City, a piece called Volunteers. Also out on Highway O, this is a collection of old farm tractors, farm forms. These are all owned by Chuck McFarlane from Sauk. Look at this old Oliver crawler. And this Oliver 77. Must have looked like a spaceship when it was built back in the 50s. And this little replica of a Wisconsin tractor. Wisconsins were built in Sauk City at one time. Grazing is our last sign. Grasslands build soil, purify water, and slow runoff while supporting biodiversity. In the upper Midwest, abundant rainfall encourages the spread of trees and shrubs in the absence of disturbances like fire and grazing. Historically, people used fire to stimulate new plant growth and attract wildlife, resulting in landscape mosaics of prairie, savanna, wetlands, and forest. Today, many farmers use managed grazing of pastures to produce water and fiber in ways that mimic grazing of the prairie. By improving soil health and water quality, reducing flooding, and enhancing wildlife habitat, grazed grasslands are key to human well-being. Also out here on the prairie is this piece of art, Winged Solar Disk. You can see the bluffs in the distance along the Wisconsin River. That would be over on the Dane County side. About 2 miles from Sauk City. So this is the lower end of Sauk Prairie, on the southern end rather, which extends up to the Baraboo Bluffs, which is probably 7 or 8 miles north of us.